What's going on, guys? It's Fallen and welcome back to a brand new Geometry Dash tutorial video. Today we are going to be learning how to modify the dart slash waves, as some of you may know it, in the game. And before we get started, I just want to give you guys some requirements in order to complete this tutorial. And with that, you're obviously going to need a computer, and you're going to need a Photoshop type of software, which I use Paint.net and is recommended for this tutorial in order for you to follow along. You're going to need the plugins that go with Paint.net in order to do some of the steps that the normal software does not include, followed by an icon kit and the texture pack creator. All of this is free and will be linked down in the description below. With that being said, guys, let's get right into the video.
Part 1, File Startup.
Alright guys, we are currently in the file startup, but before we get started, I do want to explain to you guys some issues that will occur when making these icons. And it's not any errors, but it's more of inconveniences. And the inconvenience is that there are some icons within this game, some game modes, I'm not sure if it's all of them, that have to do with sharing the same exact glow. Now, RobTop used the same glow for some of these icons, which is why some of them are very hard to modify, because obviously they share one, and if you change one glow for one icon, that glow is going to stick for the other icons. For examples like cubes, not a ship, dart, the ball specifically as well. Those are just crazy. I'll show you guys examples right there, and you can see that it's just a nightmare having to deal with. And just be careful when it comes to modifying these, because if you do make one modification on one icon, you're gonna have to do it for all the others just so the glow can match. But that's that first issue. The second issue is the secondary color. A lot of my viewers have been having issues with the secondary color, and I guess I haven't been very clear with it, and I'm sorry for that. So to put an example, I'm gonna put these pictures up. These pictures of these two ships right here. There's basically a specific limit to how far you can color when it comes to the secondary color in Geometry Dash. The primary color has no limit. You can color it anywhere you want. But the secondary color, I like to call it a color box. Basically, the color box has a specific limit that holds within the texture itself. So you can only fit it within those limits. As you can see in these pictures, the color box has a different variety of sizes. And depending on which icon you're modifying, there's going to be different color boxes for each one, so you got to be careful of that. I am looking into a P-list in order to try to bypass the color box limits, but I've already done a little bit of work. I messed up the game sheet in the process. I broke it, but thank God I had a backup. And yeah, I'm just going to try to figure that out as soon as I can and keep you guys updated, and maybe even make a tutorial on it. But with that being said, let's just get everything started. So the first thing you want to do is open up all your files, obviously. So you're going to want your custom icon kit. This is going to be the icon kit you're going to use in order to use as a reference to know what you're modifying, so you can see where the secondary color box is. And I'll teach you guys how to see that color box. Okay, so you're going to want that open. You're going to want Paint.net open. Mind you, remember you're supposed to have the plugins for this, so those will be in the description. And then finally, you're gonna want your Geometry Dash texture pack creator in order for you to import your own creations into the game. So to start off, we're gonna go with this. Obviously, we're gonna go with this for the file startup. And basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to File, Load. Some of you may have remembered this, so you could just skip this step. But you're just gonna go to File, Load. You're gonna go into the following directory where Geometry Dash is located. And if you don't know where that is, local disk C, program files 86. Then you're going to scroll all the way down till you see Steam. Open that. Open up Steam apps within the Steam folder. Go to the common folder, Geometry Dash, and then you're going to click resources. Once you do that, you should press OK. It's going to ask you which file sheet you want to modify. Since we are doing the icons, we are going to be going to GJ Game Sheet 02. Now, this software sadly does not perform with Ultra HD, which is high quality textures, so you're only limited to HD and low quality. So I'm doing medium quality for my Cosmic Dash texture pack, so I'm going to be doing GJ Game Sheet 02 HD. And if you guys are doing medium graphics as well, then this is definitely the one you want to go with. So you're going to click GJ_Game Sheet 02 HD PNG, and then you're going to press open. Once you do that, you're gonna see everything here. All of the files for the specific vehicles and whatnot are all gonna be here. So you're gonna go, since today we're gonna be doing the darts. That's what it's called in the game. I did not know that until I started doing this. So you're gonna go into the darts, and then you're gonna go for a dart you want to modify. Now I already did these two. I haven't finished this one. I haven't finished this dart yet. I have yet to do the secondary color for this one, but I'm gonna go to dart 3. Dart 3 because that's the new one we're going with. So what you're gonna want to do, grab the dimensions. You're gonna grab the dimensions for this, and to make sure that your image comes out clear and crisp, you don't want to do a small image size. So you're gonna, what I like to do is just take this size and multiply it by 5. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna open up my calculator. You guys could get your calculator out for your dimensions depending on what you want to do. You guys can follow along with me. You're gonna go to the calculator, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do 60 times 5. Okay, so my first dimension is 300. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up paint.net really quickly, press new. I'm gonna put the first dimension 300. Then right after that, I'm gonna do 42 times 5. That's gonna give me 210. So my dimensions are 300 by 210. I'm gonna go ahead and press OK, and it'll open that up for me. So now that we finished this part, now that we got this, we don't need this until the ending of the creation. So now you can just full screen this, and now you're gonna want to pull up your darts, your icon kit full of all the images or icons that you have for reference. I'm gonna go to the update 2.0. This is a custom one. This is not made by me. I just put a bunch of other icon kits together, and I'm gonna grab the dart that I'm gonna modify, which is dart 03. So I'm gonna copy this, minimize this. We won't need it anymore. Then I'm gonna make a new layer. Always make sure you have a new layer, and you don't have to do this. I'd rather do this just because it makes it much more easier. I'm gonna go ahead and make a background color. Now with that being said, I'm gonna go to my new layer right here, layer 2. If you guys want, you could label it. I'll label it for the meantime, so I'm gonna call it the reference. I'm gonna call it reference. You guys don't have to do this, obviously. It's whether you want to or not. Then I'm gonna press Control V. Now it's gonna ask, the image being pasted is larger than the canvas size. What do you want to do? You're always gonna make sure to put keep canvas size. You do not want to change this. Now I'm gonna press Z, the shortcut key, or the zoom key right here, to zoom out and proportion this with the actual file size. Now you're not gonna see anything. Make sure that when it says finish selection, you want to Control Z, and then that's when you're gonna rotate it. So I'm gonna go around this, and you could click, hold shift to like have good proportional rotating, and then I'm just gonna shrink this file size. So I'm gonna shrink it all the way. I'm gonna zoom in so I could get a better view of how I'm proportioning it. Also, it's gonna say finish selection. You always want to make sure that doesn't happen, because if you do, I'm gonna show you guys an example of what happens. If you do, it cuts off the icon. So you never want it to finish the selection. You always want to make sure it's below that. And the way to stop yourself from finishing the selection, you just press Control Z every time you use a tool to like look around. So I did that. Now I'm just gonna move this corner, hold shift, and I'm gonna extend it out, and then I'm gonna push it outwards like this. There we go. So this is the file size, this is the reference. Now what you're gonna do is you're going to go into the opacity menu, which is right here with this wrench, and you're gonna change the opacity to whatever opacity you feel like. I'm just gonna change it low so that I don't have to, confuse myself when designing my own icon. Alright, and with that being said, you have finished the file startup process. Now we're gonna go into part 2. So I'll see you guys there.
Part 2, Drawing Process.
Okay guys, now that we are in the drawing process, what you're gonna want to do is make a new layer to pretty much make your own design. Obviously, we're just gonna be using this design for reference. And the good news is, this has a very wide color box for the secondary color. So if you take a look right here, if you take a look at this icon right here, you can notice that the primary color is this white area. This is the primary color, and that means that the secondary color is this area. So you have a pretty wide color box to deal with right now. You have a pretty wide color box to work with. So to show you guys exactly how to see the color box, I'm gonna give you guys a vision on how I do it, my method. So basically what you're gonna want to do you're going to want to look at where the color box starts for the secondary color. So for example, right here, you can see that this is where the color 2 box starts for the secondary color. So I'm going to grab my select tool, stretch it all the way out until I see this right here. Then after I do that, I'm going to let go. That's going to be my first portion. Then I'm going to hold down control and I'm going to continue going down until I meet the ending of this part. And then I'm just going to stretch it down to match with the other side. There we go. And then after that, I'm going to go back up, extend it, and I'm going to pretty much reach it out all the way until I reach the other end of this box, which is right here. And pretty much that's how you guys determine the color box. You just got to look at where the secondary color meets the edges. You just got to look at the edges on all 4 sides, and then you connect them together, and this is the color box you have. So with this information, I'm basically telling you guys that you guys have this entire square right here to modify. This is the entire area you have for your secondary color. So you got to make sure that your secondary color remains within this region right here. It cannot go anywhere else. Primary color, like I said, it could go anywhere. Secondary color, you only have this space to work with, which is good though, because it's a good amount of space that we need. So I'm gonna go ahead. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and keep this so you guys understand what it is. So I'm just gonna rename this color box for now. Color box, and I'm just gonna get rid of it for now because we don't need it. All right. So you guys don't have to do this method. I like to do this method. I like to grab a different color since the background's like close to red. I'm gonna grab light blue for now. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my paintbrush tool. And you obviously, like I said, you guys don't have to do this. I like to do it just so I can get an idea of what I'm gonna do. And I just like to sketch out. Hold on, I gotta actually match the line size for the icon. Let me see. Okay, it's bigger than that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go to 13. Yeah, 13 is the size. So I'm gonna grab 13 stroke size. I'm gonna grab the paintbrush tool, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and start sketching out my little dart. So I'm gonna show you guys in a quick example. So let's say we want to do something like this. Like for example, that's like a sketch. Like that's obviously it's gonna look hideous. It's just a sketch, like I said. But that's pretty much how I do my little drawings for my waves. So I'll get back to you guys once I finish the sketch. Hey guys, alright, I finished the sketch already. So as you can see, I kept it within the color box, as I like to call it, for the secondary color. So I already figured it out. This is gonna be primary, this is gonna be secondary, primary, then secondary again. And with that done, we can move on to the next phase of this drawing process, which is tracing over your sketch with the line tool that's right here. Now the cool thing about this line tool, hold on, let me set it back to 13 really quickly. I believe this was the size. Yeah, 13. So the cool thing about this is that you could obviously start off one end and then rotate it into rotate the other end anywhere you want. And then once you're done with that, you could kind of just use the line tool, and it comes into 4 segments, so you could just make 4 segments, move around. You could change up the positioning, and it could really help you with making curves and whatnot. Like for example, like see, as you can see, I already made like a little, like, think of it as like an airplane, like an airplane, a simple airplane. Yeah, you see, like the head of the airplane. Yeah, you could do stuff like that. So we're gonna use that line tool and just go over this part. Just go over your tracing to make it look more neater. Obviously the sketch does not look the greatest, and that's just because it is the sketch, as said. So when completing it, even if I can't talk, but if you didn't do this phase, then you could just go straight to this, which is what most of you want to go to right now. And yeah, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna pretty much trace over your sketch drawing that you did. So I'm just gonna keep mine moving like so. Alright, and then hold on, let me just, it's not well aligned. Okay, right there. Alright, and as you can see, if you get rid of the sketch, if you just press check to show that this layer is invisible, you can see it looks much more better compared to the trace design. And fun fact about this neat little trick, if you guys have a symmetric icon, you guys don't have to go out of your way to make this look exactly like this one, because what you could do is you could go here to the layers window, click this button right here, which is duplicate layer. You're gonna do that. It's gonna duplicate one layer above, and what you're gonna do is you're just gonna go to layers, and then you're gonna go to flip vertical, depending on which way you're rotating it, and boom, there you go. Your wave is your dart is now fully symmetric, and when you delete it, you can see that it matches perfectly with siding and everything. So that's a little fun little shortcut that I feel like you guys should know about when making symmetrical icons, just because it saves up time and everything. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys once I finish making the design, and then we'll move on to the next portion. But before I continue, if you feel that a design is too big, it's always okay to decrease your line size. Don't make it too small, but I'd recommend making like 1 or 2 pixels smaller to really you know, get the other portions of pretty much just like get full better coloring systems for it. Because if I did it in 13, as you can see, I barely have room just to see the color, so I toned it down one spacing so I can actually, hold on, let me see. So yeah, basically just so I can actually you know, have more of a color opening here. But obviously I'll get that fixed. That's just my little tip to you guys. You can also, like I said, it could be 1 to 2 spaces. So you can even go to like 11 if anything, and it'll still look pretty decent. So yeah, that's a little tip for you guys that I thought you should know. Without that, I'm gonna cut to when I finish doing the whole tracing process, and I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, well, I have finished the second part of the wave, the dart. I have finished doing the tracing. As you can see, everything looks pretty smooth in my opinion. This design obviously isn't my best design, but I like it just because it's very simple, nothing too drastic in terms of change. Everything looks pretty good. I have to fix this up here, so let me do that really quickly. And now with that, this entire icon is, well, dart is done. So I'm going to teach you guys the next part, which is how to color it. So this is going to be the coloring process. So I will see you guys there, and get ready because this is the fun part.
Part 3, Coloring Process.
Now when beginning your coloring, you're going to want to figure out what part of your dart you want to color specifically, or just overall your icons. You got to figure out what's going to be the primary color, what's going to be the secondary color. And you could even add shades and shades and not tints, but like add shades of certain color from brightest to lowest, and you have to use one specific color for this. Well, you could use 2 if you don't want anything colored, like you just use black. But if you do want a specific color, you have to use white, and it could just go down from different shades depending on if you want it to fade out or not. So for example, let's say I just want this right here to have like a gradient. I would make sure that this is faded to black, my secondary color, and then I just make a new layer. This is an example, by the way, don't follow what I'm doing. And this is what the gradient would be like. And as you can see, it has like a more of a faded look to it. But I'm teaching you guys the simple part of this. I'm pretty sure those of you with gradient knowledge would be able to know how to do this. And one last thing before I continue, there's also a way to make it secondary gradient, like for primary to secondary, and all you gotta do is just set your secondary color opacity to 0, and then you just make sure the first one's set on white, grab your gradient tool, and then just like so. And as you can see, it doesn't set a color for this part, so that's pretty much how it works. But since I'm not using that right now, I'm just gonna be working with the basic stuff. So I'm gonna select my areas that I want to color as primary. So this is definitely gonna be a primary color. I might make the inner part darker, I'm not sure. No, you know what, I'll keep it all one color. It's a simple icon, nothing too crazy. Okay, so all of this is gonna be the primary color. So once I do that, you want to make sure to get a new layer, because if you just use the same layer and you fill it in, you're gonna see all these pixels, and it's gonna look like an entire mess when you put it in. Like, you'll be able to see it when playing in game. You do not want to see this texture right here at the edge. It looks like it's scratched up and everything. You do not want that. So what you do is you make a new layer, put it underneath your drawn icon, and then you can fill it in using the backspace key or the paint bucket tool. I'm gonna use the backspace key. And as you can see, now it looks more smoother. You can see the pixels are more like faded outward to give it that nice little smooth drawing effect. If you zoom out, you can see that it doesn't look so pixelated anymore. Well, you can barely see any pixels. And yeah, so we got that. That's the primary color. Mind you, the secondary color does not belong in this file at all. It has nothing to do with the icon. Nothing to do with the original. That's a completely separate, different file. So I will teach you guys how to do that. So once you're done doing this part of your primary color and secondary color, you can get rid of the reference for now. And you can definitely get rid of the background. But you want to keep the reference in order to get the, the color box in. So what I like to do is I like to go to the icon, use my wand tool, go to the reference icon, and use the wand tool to just grab the color of, grab the sides of the color box, and I'm gonna extend my tolerance as much as I can until it will just fill up the entire icon. So once it fills up the entire icon, make sure to go down until it just fills up this little area right here. And I'm gonna do the same for here, and I'm gonna put it up just in case. Okay, so it's the icon, so I don't want to do that. So move it down very slowly. There we go. And this is the secondary color box that I'm gonna be working with. So I'm gonna press Control C. I'm gonna open up a new file, and if you did this right, it should give you its dimensions already. It should set a specific amount of odd dimensions. So you're gonna press OK. And then before I do that, I'm just gonna set another reference background color. So I'm gonna set this one. And then I'm gonna make a new layer. It's gonna be transparent with the checker background, and then I'm gonna press Control V to paste. This is my secondary color box that I'm working with. And if you followed along to the instructions with putting your color box in and whatnot, you shouldn't struggle at this part. This part is really simple. All you're gonna do, go to the areas that you want to color in that is secondary color, meaning that has the checker background saying that it's transparent. Select it, hold down Control, select the other part, and then select the other part. That's pretty much how it works for me. You just gotta press Control, set the tolerance as high as you can so that it can take the inside of it. And 70 is usually the number, but if it goes higher and you still see it within this area, then keep going until it stops staying within this area. If it goes farther, make sure to put it back down so you can have it within this area. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna just press Control C, go to this one, and then you're gonna make a new layer. Get white ready. Okay, white is already ready for me, so I'm just gonna go here, Control V, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press backspace because you can see the outline of the secondary color from my new dart. So I'm just gonna go ahead and press backspace to fill it in, and there you go. It's done, but as you can see, it's very misaligned. It's misaligned with the file, and I know this is centered. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my effects, object align, and I'm gonna center it vertically. And if all went well, you should have the perfect alignment. And just in case, if you want to double check that you put the color in the right spot, in case you need to move it more upwards or more downwards, just take a look at the reference and what you did. So take a look at the reference. I'm gonna go ahead and set my opacity. Alright, as you can see, the secondary color pretty much reaches the end, so I'm gonna drag it all the way down like that. And yeah, once I did that, I'm gonna go ahead and delete the original reference layer. I'm gonna delete the background. Make sure it always has the checker background, otherwise you're gonna have a background color on your icons, and you don't want that. And I'm gonna go ahead and save these now, so I don't need the reference anymore. And I don't need the color box. And if you want to take one last look, I stayed within the color box. And now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna shut that down. And this, I believe, is by itself. You can still see the white, so I'm just gonna merge this layer down, even though the software will do that automatically, but I just like to do it just to be sure. And now here we have our full color 1 icon. So after that, I'm gonna press not save. You're gonna go to save as, And make sure to have a folder where you can store all these files if you plan on making your texture pack. I already have one, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go into... where is it? Okay, it's not here, so it has to be in this file. And if I go down... Here it is. I have a folder named texture pack stuff that contains all the Cosmic Dash stuff. So you're going to go to your folder or whatever you're going to. And I'm going to go to my folder named darts. Make sure that is not PDN. Unless you want to keep it to make changes. If you haven't merged all these files already, then you can set it to PDN. But if you already merged it down, then it's pretty much too late. Unless you want to Control Z it. But you're going to set it to PNG. And from here on, based on the naming system in the texture pack editor, it's Dart03. So what I like to do is I like to color coordinate things. Well, not color coordinate them, but like use the parentheses with like a number inside it to indicate what color is what. So I'm going to call this Dart3 parentheses 1. So Dart3 being the name, and then 1 signifying that it's color 1. And I'm going to save it. There we go. And then for this one, I'm going to save it as well. And I'm going to name it Dart3, but instead of 1, you're going to keep it 2 for secondary color. And there's going to be another process for the glowing. So we're going to, once you do that, you're just going to, you know, do the stuff. Press OK. Save it. And then you're going to go to your texture editor. And this is where it's going to get fun. Okay, well, it says that this file is rotated. I forgot to warn you guys about one more thing, too. You might as well learn it right now. When importing the... Matter of fact... Yeah. Okay. When importing the... What do you call it? The textures, you want to make sure to look at the rotator. And if it says true, you just want to rotate the icons as seen here. It's going to look like this in the final result. Don't pay attention to that. Only pay attention to it to see if you got all the coloring right. But pay attention to this to see if it's rotated. And if your file does not match that, make sure to set it. So you can just go to Image, Rotate 90 degrees clockwise I'm going to do. And there you go. It's right there. So I'm just going to save that now. I'm going to do the same for this one since it's the same exact position. Image, Rotate 90 degrees clockwise. There we go. Save them. And now I can re-import these. So I'm going to go to Object, Import. Gonna wait for that to open up. Alright, there we go. And I'm gonna go to... Where is it? I'm gonna go to my desktop files, because that's where I keep everything. Texture pack stuff. Darts. And I'm gonna import the first one. Dart3.1. As you can see, it imported, and if you look at the final result, it looks messy still, but that's because we have yet to import the secondary color. So I'm gonna go to Import. Then I'm going to go to Dart3.2. And I'm looking at the final result. It looks good, but I could tell right here that there's some blue. So I need to move it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead. 1, 2. I'm going to go ahead and move it up 2 pixels. Let's see if that makes a difference. And I'm going to go back. Object, Import. I'm going to import this again. And it's almost correct. 1, 2. Okay, let's do that. Oh, error occurred. If you're constantly trying to make changes and an error occurs, just go here, close it, go. Oh, just open up another icon Dart file, because if it's loaded up, it'll automatically like give you an error. If it gives you that error, just click out of it and then click on another one. And I'm gonna re-import that again. Okay. Alright, and that's good. Now I can see that it's aligning more perfectly down here. So once you're done with that, you're going to go to Save. And you're just going to open up Geometry Dash and see if it worked out. So I'll see you guys once I open the game. Okay guys, so as you can see, I have loaded up the game now. So I'm going to go ahead and check in the Customize section, the icon editor. And I'm going to go to the darts. And as you can see, everything worked out, but the glow is what I have to teach you guys. So we're going to get into that part next. But other than that, I'm going to turn off the glow. Everything looks perfect. Icon looks exactly the way I want it. And now with that being said, all we got to do is just finish up the glow. So let's get right into that. Okay, now that we're in the glow process, I want to show you guys exactly how to do this so you don't mess up. It can be a little tricky at first, but you'll eventually get it. So the problem with doing this for me right now is that none of my dart points touch the end of any of the file except for the top. So I'll use the top as a reference. So you're gonna go ahead and press Control A to select all, or you can use this rectangle select tool and then just start from like the top edge of this area and then just drag it all the way. Then once you have it selected, you're just gonna go ahead and put Control C to copy it. I'd like to do it a few times just in case I accidentally forget to press the button or whatnot. And I'm gonna go to New. It's gonna give me my file dimensions. What I like to do is I like to just increase that by 20. So instead of 210, I'm gonna increase it to 230, and 300 will be 320. That's gonna be our additional wave. That's gonna be like our glow. That's gonna be the additional pixels for the wave. So I'm gonna add a new layer. I'm gonna set the background obviously to a color so I can see it differently. Then this is the wave. I'm gonna press Control A because it's aligned here. Go to the effects, object align, center both. You want to make sure it centers both of them. Centers both sides horizontally and vertically. And as you can see, the wave is centered. Now this is where the plugins come in hand instead of having to do this manually because it's hard to do it manually. So just click outside of the dart, and as you can see, it selected everything on the outside. Make sure that your tolerance is high enough so that it doesn't leave out any of the black pixels too far out, because if you do it like too low in terms of tolerance, you're gonna be able to see through the glow. Like that, for example, you're gonna be able to see like some transparency behind it. So like I said, you would just want to make sure to like put it out as much as you can until like it takes up pretty much to the black border. So once you get that, I can see everything's like highlighted really closed in so that it doesn't leave out any like transparent pixels. It covers them up, and you're just gonna go to here, the area where I told you the icon meets, and I'm gonna go ahead and press, wait, hold on, give me a moment, this is bothering me. Wait, I'm a fool. Okay, I'll leave that part for myself. That's just a little error on my end, but it's whatever. I'll fix that regardless. It looks a little weird, but you know what, let me just set the tolerance a little lower like that so it matches more efficiently up here. And like I said, you just want to go to the top, and you're gonna pretty much extend this all the way out until it reaches the border here. So I'm gonna go to Effects, Drop Shadow, give it a moment. Okay, the blur radius, you're gonna set it all the way down to 0, and you can see it makes a little white outline, and you're just gonna put that outline all the way up until it reaches the edge of the file size here. So it reaches the edge, so I'm gonna go ahead and press OK. And now we have our fully made dart. Looks a little bigger. Hold on. Actually, yeah, it looks fine. It'll like smoothen out as you like minimize it and whatnot. So once you do that, you're gonna press Control C and then press Control A, delete it, and then press Control V again. And with that, you have yourself the glow for the icon, or the dart specifically. And you can see there's black edges, so what you're going to want to do, doesn't matter if it's pixelated on the inside because the real design is going to be covering this part up, so it doesn't matter. I just use the hue saturation, which is on the adjustments, or if you could press Control Shift U and it'll open up this menu. I just set the lightness all the way at white, press OK, and now we have a fully white dart. So I'm going to delete the background, and I'm just going to I'm going to go ahead and save this now. So I'm already in the folder, so dart 3, and instead of 2 or 1, I'm just gonna call it glow. I don't know why. I could have named it 3, but for some reason glow just stuck out to me. And now this is where the interesting part happens. So you're gonna want to get to your Geometry Dash files in order to do this, because the texture editor cannot modify the glow sheet the way it used to. So for those of you that have it installed on Steam already, you could just open up Steam and you just go to Geometry Dash, go to Properties, Local Files, Browse Local Files, and it'll open it up for you. But if those of you who purchased it cracked, meaning that you got an official version but it doesn't belong to you, you downloaded it online, then I'm going to show you guys exactly how to find that. So I'm going to open up my files, my file explorer, and what you're going to do, you're going to go to this PC, local disk, program files 86. Then you're gonna go to Steam. You're gonna scroll down till you find Steam apps, common, Geometry Dash, resources, and this is where everything is. Unless you have like Geometry Dash in a separate folder with all the stuff, you could just put it in your desktop and just find that folder and look for the resources folder, and once you find that, you should have all this stuff. So just scroll down until you look for GJ underscore gamesheet hyphen glow HD, because we're doing it. Well, it depends on your version, but it depends on like what quality you're doing. Low quality would just be gamesheet glow, medium would be HD, and then UHD would be high. But I'm doing medium, so I'm gonna go to HD. I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna go back into my paint.net. I'm gonna open up a new file, and the dimensions are already saved for you if you copied it right, so it should be 1554 by 1554. Press OK, and then you're gonna paste it. And you can't see anything because it's all in white, so I'm just going to set my secondary color to black. This is the only time it's okay to be in black because nothing here has a black outline. And boom. Now, this is pretty much like a Where's Waldo situation. You got to find out where that wave is that you modified. So, to be specific, you got to find the wave that you were modifying. So this is the wave right here. I have to memorize that shape. And then once I do that, I'm going to go back into here and look for it. So, give me a moment. Okay, I found it. It's right here. Right? Yeah, okay, yeah, this is the one right here. So it's facing down, so that's good news for us. We don't have to rotate this anymore. So you're just gonna go ahead and go to image, and you're gonna have to play like guess. You're gonna have to like guess right here. I always mess this up, but it's a trial and error for me. It depends on the vehicle you're doing. Now I can see that 40 somewhat works. It's around the 40 to 50s range. So I'm gonna control Z it. I'm gonna go to image again, and I'm gonna go to like 45. Like I said, it's trial and error, so like it could all be different for the waves. I'm not sure, but if everything goes well, I should be able to have it so that it's pretty much matching. So this looks about right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna readjust it myself. What I like to do is when making my wave, I obviously want to make the pixels go one below, because if I have it touch the edge, for some reason Geometry Dash just makes it look like it's cut out. Like you could tell that the glow looks cut out. So I always put it one pixel below each side. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this right here. This is the original dart glow. As you can see, there's one pixel sticking out, so I keep that there, and I put my my new one there, but I obviously make sure that it's below one pixel on each side. And then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go to the original layer, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight everything else that I don't need. So yep, like that. And I'm gonna press delete, and now it's replaced with the new glow. And you're just gonna go ahead and get rid of the black background. This new wave is part of it now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and press save. And I gotta go into the directory again, so this is gonna take a moment. So I'm gonna change it to PNG. It always has to be PNG with a checker background. The checker background signifies that there's no background on it. And here it is, GJ Game Sheet Glow HD. It's gonna ask if you want to replace it. If you guys are not sure, always make sure to have a backup. So always make sure to like make a backup somewhere else in your computer, so that in case you messed up, you could just put the original back in there. So, but I don't really need to make backups because I know what I'm doing already. So I'm gonna go ahead and press yes here to replace it. Save configuration, yes. It's gonna ask if you're gonna flatten, meaning if you want to merge these layers. You press yes, and then if everything goes well, you are now part of the testing phase, where you pretty much gotta see if you made any mistakes throughout that and just adjust it. So I'm gonna see you guys back in Geometry Dash to see how it went for the design. Okay, so I have Geometry Dash open. Oh wait, no. Okay, I have Geometry Dash open, so I'm gonna go to my dart, and as you can see, the glow is fine, but it's just the icon now. I made the icon a little too big, so in order to fix that, I'm going to show you guys exactly where this plays out. So I imported it to the game already. Everything looks fine. It just is too wide here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of that. and I'm gonna close the game. This is where the trial and error takes place, so I'll just take you guys to the transition again for trial and error. Okay, so the trial and error situation took place, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and make another. I took a screenshot already. It's gonna keep everything you have, but you have dual monitors like I do. It's gonna make the width a little too big, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make it 920 by 1080, and there we go. I'm gonna set this to black or whatnot. Gonna put new layer. Just gonna ask if I want to keep the canvas size. No. Alright. So we don't want it here. I'm gonna go to the original one. Oh, it took a screenshot there. Okay. Well then, yeah. So my cursor's in the way. Sorry, but if you look at this, all I gotta do really is just take this icon and just bring it down a little bit. This dart. So as you can see, it's like sticking out too far this way. So I'm gonna grab it from the top part and put it down a few pixels. So I'm gonna go like 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe no 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So now that I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and save the new version, and I have to do the same for the secondary color. So I gotta go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. By the way, the way I did that, I just clicked it, held it down, and then I just put the arrow keys to signify 1 pixel. So now I'm gonna save these two, and now I'm gonna go back here, and I'm just gonna fix it up a little. So I'm gonna replace these with the new darts, like so, and hopefully that was enough for it to be fixed. So I don't want to repeat this process over and over. There's probably gonna be some errors, so I'm just gonna cut to the ending where I actually have it fixed off, so you guys don't have to witness that part. Alright, well the good news is I did it in one take. When I said I was gonna just cut to it, I didn't have to cut to it. I opened up the game and it works perfectly fine now. So as you can see, the glow looks really clean. It actually like fits onto the icon and whatnot, and everything's proportional. I did what I needed to do, and now if you guys want, you can go ahead and take a look at your new design. So I'm gonna go ahead and blast processing the thing. But by the way, the audio is muted right now because I have my audio recording set to mute, but it's good as well because copyright claims. We all know that the main levels have heavy copyright claims, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the level a little bit. So yeah, I'll just cut it so when I get to the wave part. There it is. There she is. So as you can see, it looks pretty good. The wave looks pretty good in terms of movement. It feels good, if that's even a thing. But yeah, you could it just looks like it's part of the game, you know? Doesn't feel off from the normal, so I can actually play the game like without having to make it comforting for me. I don't know, because when I play with a specific icon, if like there's a mistake on it, like in terms of alignment or not, I'm gonna notice it and it's gonna bother me while playing. But yeah, overall this icon looks pretty smooth. Like the design is pretty good. I like the design, and yeah, everything's perfectly aligned, everything's symmetrical, so as you can see it moves. There's no like misalignment, as you could tell, because of the way the laser comes out of it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. If you guys have any more questions, oh my god, it's Pikachu and a Pokeball, I forget, UFO ball at least. But if you guys have any more questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. And if you guys do want to need like personal help, I'll gladly be able to do that. You guys can message me on Discord at FallenAngel14 #7696 I believe. But yeah, with that being said, I gotta tune out, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll keep up with these tutorials more often. I'm gonna try to look into the plist file so I can modify the color box. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay fallen but not sad. Peace.